Guys, you got to be careful because people will they want your shine, they want your light. And I'm this type of person or whatever. Okay, if you struggled, if you went through hard times, I applaud people like that. All I can say is, I'm always praying for people that's like that. But you take a person from 15 to 20 years and you've always had a platform, or life started looking up for you, you have to listen to what people are saying, because sometimes people are just jealous hearted, period. Or they want some type of recognition that don't belong on them. One thing I noticed about women or whatever, and everyone needs to stay in their own visual line or whatever, because if you don't, and you're always looking at everything else at other women, that's why I never got caught up. I'm going to tell y'all something, a little secret about me and my life, and the reason why I think that I didn't come forward with my story before now. Nevertheless, I felt like I couldn't, because when I tell you I haven't had no one. Now, people that's in the industry, people that 20 years ago or 15 years ago or so forth years ago, they had the necessities and they had started working and things had started looking up for them. Then they had the well over enough opportunity to express things and situations that had occurred in their life. I don't know if it's me, or I don't know if it took me to get on YouTube and just keep speaking, because I've, like 5 years ago, even when I started trying to begin to speak to people and tell them or whatever about what my hurts are and how I feel, and because I had never expressed that, it still seemed like didn't anyone care. They didn't care just as well as my family. I know that they used to do that to me and my mom. They used to do those sort of things to me and my mom, and they knew that she was incompetent. I went to speak with my aunt yesterday, and she said it out of her own mouth. Okay, well, if y'all knew, y'all were too caught up in yourself. And that's the problem with people. It's a self thing. It's a self thing. You care not to understand where no one else is coming from, because you never walked a mile in their shoes. I understand that people, you got to give me evidence. And when you tell me, when you mess around with me, I got receipts. I got real live receipts coming from all of this. I got different little cities I've lived in that I can go and pick up a person off Facebook and, tell them about, ask them about things that occurred with me, that was going on with me. I can remember the time or whatever where I didn't have any clothes or any shoes in one city or whatever. And a friend that I always used to go to her house, nevertheless, she was smaller than I was. And then she showed me all of her new school clothes, and I knew that she would always keep her back door open. I wasn't nothing but 6 years old. I went inside that girl's back door and took her school clothes, and then I tried to take them back. or whatever. Nevertheless, I like kept one of the items or something because I didn't have, you know, anything to start out in school, and I was only 6 or whatever. And that taught me because later on or whatever, they found out about it because I honestly went and told them that I did it or whatever, and I got talked about really bad. That taught me a lesson about stealing as well. I was always leery of trying to take from a child till, you know, I got older or whatever. It had to be something critical or something for me to just, I've learned my lessons or whatever, and it wasn't because or whatever, it was because God was always walking with me. It wasn't because I had anyone. Now, if you take a person, for instance, or whatever, and I'm not stating that these people haven't had struggles and da-da-da-da-da, but they try to make it seem like because they want to take the light off of you to make people look at them like, oh, woe is me, poor little me, da-da-da-da-da. And I never did that. So for someone to see me talk about all these situations that have occurred in my life and put them out on YouTube, and people even use my stories and da-da-da-da-da, and then go try to use them, they're lying. If you go and check their backgrounds and you really go and ask someone where they are from and da-da-da-da-da, you got people all the time making up, and it's people that are successful that I'm finding out that are so jacked up and sick. And it's all because they haven't looked at themselves or tried to heal properly as they should. They'll paint a pretty picture and put some words out there and some things out there, but I bet you if you go back and learn about this person, they didn't have it as such. Some of these people's stories are starting to seem like they're being similar to mine, and then I'm hearing other people like Pimp C say, no, dude, I grew up with you. I know you. I know where you're from. I know what you were doing or whatever. And you got to be careful with this internet, because if these people, they're trying to twist people to think and take the light off of you and make people think, oh, now Keisha Cole, I used to always be intact with, when I used to be pregnant and different little things that was going on with her and her mom, I watched that one, and I get into things like that because that's where I came from. A lot of these other people's stories that had their mom, had their dad, they may not have had it great, but they had a roof over their head, they had their mom, they had their dad. It wasn't never, because some of these people started in the industry when they were merely young. They were young, so no, you haven't had it just hard like I have. I'm talking about all of my life, even up to now, I'm still going through some certain situations. So I peek out people and I know who you are, and people will be sadly mistaken if I call them out. And see, that's the thing. They don't like that because I read through people. I don't know why people test me, because you can put on a pretty show, but I'm starting to learn that it's more, and that's a sickness. If you're an attention seeker, or if you choose to try to take someone else's story, lie, and want to try to make your story be their story because you want to take their shine and so forth, and you want to keep them from getting some type of recognition, you're basically sick. I would never do that. I don't watch. That's why I keep myself guarded and shielded, and to a certain extent, because if you don't, you'll find yourself looking and picking up things from people and trying to just say, just like the Derek situation, what is his name? Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson and his wife. I'm glad that she came out and spoke the truth, because then you can be set free. Then you can be healed. But if you just watching people and I don't like her just because, that person don't have to follow you or praise you or do any of these things to make you feel important, because the truth of the matter is no one's important. And I learned that a long time ago when I was sitting in the home, when I was only 9 years old, and a lady that went to church every Sunday that claimed that she was praising the Lord and that she served the Lord so dearly, and went and stacked up her Christmas tree of other kids that she had also just took on, that wasn't even her own kids that she was taking care of, that she could buy them presents, and the kids even knew that it was wrong and was lagging on, like this lady, they felt that this lady should have bought me presents or whatever, and I was only a child, all because you didn't like my mother, but you went to church, you sit on the front pew every Sunday or whatever, and you still didn't have enough courage or love or respect or honor even under God to think to buy or even be interested in trying to help out, but your tree was overcapacitated from all across the wall, all stacked up to high, I mean almost to the rooftop. I don't understand. I'll never forget that. No, you got people just like that, and they're fraudulent, they're fronters, they're fakers, they're shakers, they're movers, and they've been sick from a long time ago, because they've been used to people making them feel like they were the center of attention, and they're not. None of us are. And that's the thing. If you keep your own Pacific lane, don't try to pick up or grab out of anyone else's lane to bring it over into your lane and make it be your property and make you feel important by taking something from someone else. Then you can heal. I don't buy these stories. And what I do, I let God take care of you, because you just trying to overbear me or try to make me, dummy me down to be someone underneath you, it's not going to help you. All of that energy is coming back right now. God is not giving any, and you're going to be embarrassed. Or someone else is going to call you out, and I'm not going to have to do it. And they're going to bring up what they see, the same thing I'm seeing that you're doing. And it's not going to be great. I'm not here for that, because a lot of people have taken my items. You can go make a movie and pretend that your life was like that, because that's going to be your next move. You're going to go, because I read people. You're going to go make a movie if you're an actress, and you're going to use my story as yours, and God is going to tear your behind down to the bone twizzle, because he's not playing with us with these energies anymore. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. God is not allowing you to do that to people. And that's what you're putting that out in the public and out in the physical air to lead people to believe that you lived a struggling life. You may go make a movie, go present yourself and play like you're playing a character of someone that you stole their item to make yourself look like you've went through the struggle, when you have taken someone else's information and their stuff and pretended that it was yours, and it's not, and it's going to come back on you. And so I choose not to deal with energies that's like that. I just read people, and I know. And when we see someone go and play a story and act as though, oh, woe is me, and I struggled, and this was my life, and now I'm going to play it out in a movie. No, honey, if you had a story like that, you would have played it out a long time ago, because ain't nobody waiting and playing with money. They waiting and watching you and stealing from other people, and I don't appreciate it. Nevertheless, I'm not to sound cocky or sound as though my story is greater or lesser than anyone else's. I'm just saying I'm a reader, and I read people, and I know what you're doing. And it's not going to fly with me. It's going to be a goodbye. And if you get too crunk with it, I'm going to call you out. And I got lawyers and all of that in play because I think that people are taking my kindness for weakness. They are working on things and working on movies and doing things or whatever that they are putting in play from stories that I have given that are similar to things that I've talked about to make them money, and I don't appreciate it. It's not your story. God knows it's not your story. It's nothing you ever lived. And that isn't going to work. It's not going to work because people are still going to see you for who you are. You're going to be exposed. Period. It's no if, ands. I don't care how you try to look at it. It's not yours. So quit trying to take other people's items and use it for your belongings. It's not yours. I'm gonna tell you something. Everything that have went to happening since I've been on YouTube, it's been a part. I'm not saying that everything is mine, but the majority of all this bullshit people putting together, and it's not bullshit because it's making them money, and they stole it. They listen to my story. They go flipping. They don't do this, go do that. And they're taking my stuff. And, I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I can't. I don't even relate with you because I got to see proof. I'm not a person that's why I sit back and watch all of y'all. I'm not a person that is just going to sit up here and buy your shit because I already know what people are doing. You not fooling me. And it's going to come back on you, especially if you did it out of an ill will, intentional heart that you knew was wrong. Y'all getting ready to come out with movies and all of that, these actresses and all of that. And I could call some of y'all by name that's getting ready to do it and pretend like it's a story that you live that you haven't. And I guarantee you, if you went back to people that was around you, they would still be able to, no, we didn't see that. No, we didn't see that happen with this person. I'm talking about I got real life stories where people witnessed this. I didn't have nowhere to sleep. I was a kid sleeping in parks. It's hard or whatever because I go and deal with people that's going through that now, but they're adults. Just take a child that's been traumatized like that and had to live homeless, sleep in parks and do things like that as a child. And then, it's adults that's living that same life that you lived as a kid. That shit is going to mentally fuck you up. So I wish for people to quit because if I can put my finger on that you didn't took my story, even if you didn't use some of my stuff, like I'm figuring out a way where if I know that y'all came up with all of this stuff or whatever that, and it's similar to mine, and I'm the one that spoke it, I'm going to come and get your ass. I'm suing you. And they telling me that it's some type of way, and I've been digging and prying into it, that I can. So don't go try to make no story similar as mine. You just didn't heard me speak, and I never thought that it was, I've always been a person like that, to always think, and so I never put forth my talents. I just spoke that in my card reading the other day. I never put forth my talents, and I just spoke that on my community board because I never thought that I could change my situation. That's another reason why I never tried to use my talents that I have. I have a lot of things. So people trying to go and trying to steal them, and they studying you. I got people on here that's studying me. And I wish that you would stop because when I call you out by name, you're going to be embarrassed because I know that you're doing it. See, I sit back and watch people. I feel your energy around me. And when I go to your videos and stuff, it's heavy. I know when you've been secretly watching my items and watching me, and but you're doing it out of like a heart that it's not, God is not telling me that your heart is right for me. Like, it's not in a good way. And all of us fall short and we need healing and all of that. But I've healed a lot. So it's a lot that come with me. Now, for you guys, because of the way you guys are speaking now, I'm starting to tell or whatever, no, y'all still really needing to go through healing. You haven't been beat down and dumb it down and hurt enough like I have. And once you start having people to continue to do that to you, you'll stop. It'll stop you. See, I've been beat down to the point where I had to come out that motherfucker fighting. I'm not lying. I'm talking about as a kid on up to my adult age. I don't back down from demons. I will fight you. I had to come up out that hole fighting with swing blows, fists, toe to toe. Nothing else less than. Period. Whether it was with my energy, whether it was, even if I had to do something physically, even it had to be done. Period. So I don't need nobody coming trying to take on what I got going on. My story is not your walk or your talk. I mean, you got a story, but let your story be your story and let my story be my story. Because my story is helping people, but also my story, these people getting hella paid off of my story. They've been doing it ever since I've been here. I'm not. So quit trying to flip the script and change up shit to try to make people think and put the light over there on you, because it doesn't work like that. My light is always going to remain. You can't take my light, because God going to do something else to show you and prove to you, just to stop. You can't. And then not with me being the person I am either, because I'm going to fight you. I will fight you. Whether it's energetic, whatever, it's nobody, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't even have to go to that, because I'm a person that really hate to get down like that when it comes to my people or any people or whatever, because, I mean, it's worthless. If a person got a story and it's one hell of a story, you can't come and try to steal their story. Your story is not their story. And that's why I sit back and I watch y'all, because a lot of y'all that's successful people, successful, beautiful people, why do you do yourself like that? Why do you feel the need that you got to take someone else's crown off of them and put it on your head? That's not your crown. Get your own. You shouldn't be sitting back in the shadows watching people conjuring up stuff off of their information to make yourself seem like you're someone you're not. If that's just not your story, that's not your story. But God got a story for you. Maybe it's for you to grow some more, or maybe it's for you to go through more lessons for it to get more and more hurtful, for you to understand, hey, look, this is not a game that's being played here. I can't play with stories, because when you a person that have walked in the story or seen someone else endure the pain, and you have also yourself, then you're not going to play with a story. You will quit playing with stories when you had to live it. And that's what a lot of you guys haven't had to do. That's why y'all can play so much and play characters of fraudulent characters of imitating a story of someone that's been very hurtful. Like, it's sickening. Y'all need to get a grip. But God bless. Y'all have a great night. That's all I have to say.